Mary Helen Darrow with the Taylor Automotive Women in the Driver's Seat. Today we speak with Claire Cameron-Ruetz, who left an OB-GYN residency to follow her passion and open Dollop. What an incredible story. I can't wait to go inside and talk to this incredible woman. Hello, today we are here with Claire Cameron-Ruetz of Dollop and one of the many incredible female-led businesses here at Quicket West. Welcome. Could you tell us a little bit about your history and that of Dollop?
Yeah, I'm a physician. In 2020, I was in my residency in obstetrics and gynecology. I was at Toledo Hospital, and it had been, medical training is hard and long, and I had been really unhappy for a long time, and it really kind of, I think, was precipitated by having my son in my fourth year of medical school. And, if you have kids, that your priorities just completely change. And I think that having my son really made me understand that I was just truly unhappy in what I was doing. It was more than just, okay, it's really hard to become a doctor. It was like, I'd go to the hospital every day, and I really didn't have the joy that I looked around and saw other people having and what they did. So I spent a very long time kind of going through all these different permutations of kind of bargaining with myself, okay, well, maybe I could do this fellowship, or maybe I could do this thing so that when I'm practicing finally, I'll be able to have this mythical work-life balance that will make me happy. But kind of every time I thought of this new kind of way to make it work, it would just come down to the fact that I really did not enjoy what I was doing. Being a physician, it is all in, full out, and you have to, I really believe that to be good at it, to be a good physician and to practice ethically, I think you really have to give of yourself a lot. And I just wasn't prepared to do that for the rest of my life. Slowly, over the course of about, I would say it was like 6 to 8 months in that first year of residency, I talked with a lot of mentors. I was really lucky to have this very supportive program director and program in general. And they actually suggested that I take some family medical leave. So I did for about a month in the beginning of my second year. And I ultimately decided in that time that I thought it was kind of right for me to go. So I left, and I really didn't have a plan. I was lucky enough that I was in this situation where my family was supportive, and I think for a lot of people, the debt from school is a big issue. And for me, that was not an issue. So I was lucky enough that I was able to leave and have that time to just kind of figure out where I wanted to go next. So I started revisiting hobbies, because I went from working like 100 hours a week to working 0 hours a week. So
that's a bit of an adjustment.
It's a big adjustment. And I had my son, which was wonderful. Spending time with him was just this treat, I started baking again, which is something I'd done my whole life. And I just, I was filling my kitchen and my refrigerator so full of baked goods that my family, I just have a husband and a toddler, so they couldn't keep up.
See, I could. You should have had me over.
Some people really could, couldn't they?
Yeah.
So I started giving stuff away to my neighbors, and my one neighbor was like, you should sell this. And I was like, I don't think anybody wants to buy this. And funnily enough, they did. And I started this. I tried to make a lot of reversible decisions in those first few months after I had left my job, because I just didn't want, I'd spent so long being so committed to this career, and I hadn't ever looked up to take a breath to say, is this what I really want to be doing, The most reversible decision I could think of was selling cakes out of my kitchen. You can always stop doing that,
yes,
right? You
yes.
can always stop. So I did that, and it really took off, really took off, which was cool. Before I knew it, I was selling at the farmer's market in Perrysburg. A friend of mine who actually owns the yoga studio next door told me that the spot here in Cricket West opened up, and she was like, you should move in there. And I was like, I don't know that I'm ready. And I just don't think anybody wants me there. And she was like, well, I already gave your contact information to the landlord. So, so I, before I knew it, I was signing a lease here. And that was about 2 years ago, I guess, that I signed the lease here, a little over 2 years ago. And, yeah, the rest is history, I guess. That's when the shop, so when I was baking on my own, I was Dollop and Smidge. And when I signed the lease on the shop, I changed to Dollop Shop because I thought it was cute and it really spoke to a brick and mortar. So yeah, and then the shop was born, and it's really evolved kind of into this thing I didn't expect to have. As you guys see, we have this really nice upstairs space. I never expected to have that when I opened a brick and mortar. So we're really lucky that kind of part of our business has evolved to involve catering and party planning and stuff, which is really fun. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's
wonderful.
That's how we came to be.
Oh, it's an amazing. Amazing. I know someone who's on the Great Canadian Baking Show, and she calls herself a recovered attorney.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, I sometimes I say that. My dad is a physician as well, and sometimes I call myself a recovering physician. And
Yes. So
my
you
dad
have
sort of
to-
winces every time I say that because he thinks that people might take it offensively. But I think
No, I get that. Yes.
I think most and the people who really understand my career change the most are actually physicians,
Yes,
because they're like, we get it.
Yes. Well, what are some of the most challenging aspects of what you do, and as well as some of the most rewarding?
I would say that the most challenging and the most rewarding parts of my job are the same thing, which is the customer service aspect of what I do. Something that I would say is a common thread in my careers has been just working with people. I'm a people person. I think that's pretty obvious if you interact with me for very long. And so part of what I love about having the shop, I'm here every day. I have regulars. I have people who come in all the time who just have these cool ideas, for cakes or for things that they want to cater. I get to be part of people's celebrations and stuff in this sort of, like behind the scenes way. Like I don't have to be there hosting their party, but I get to, kind of imagine that they're all crowded around my cake, singing happy birthday. And it's a very cozy, nice feeling. And I like to give that to people, But I would say the challenging aspect of that is, just managing expectations. It's tough to have what we have, which is this very, we're pretty niche. We make everything from scratch by hand. It's me and that lady you saw in the bakery downstairs, Julie. It's just the two of us baking. So, we don't have cakes sitting around that you can order the day of. It takes a couple weeks for us to get you on our schedule and plan a cake. And it's kind of constantly having to make sure that I'm communicating that to customers and that they appreciate that too. Because I think, it's not for everybody to have that kind of slow, process. So it's challenging. I don't like that. It's sometimes it's tough to understand that not everybody's going to like what I do. So that's hard.
Well, would you encourage young women to go into your new career here? And with that being said, what's the one piece of advice you would give them?
I would encourage young women to go into this field. I think there's a lot of opportunity for growth and for carving out your own niche in this industry. Food service as a broad category is, there's just so many different ways that you can kind of create your own path here. And I think there's an opportunity for creativity that, I don't know, there's just a great opportunity for creativity, but also for kind of smart business leadership and smart business networking that I think are really cool, and I think are, like I said, great opportunities for women to get involved in owning a business. I think that as women, we're told no a lot, and it's way more insidious nowadays. I don't think that people are out there saying no because you're a woman. It's not like that. I think a lot of people get stuck on this idea that you have to do things in a very certain way. I was sort of a rebel, I would say, I guess, in medical school, in that I was told a lot, your scores were good, but they weren't good enough to do X, Y, and Z. Or, well, if you want to do this, then you're going to have to do that. And I never accepted it because I just thought, I don't buy that, and I was able to do exactly what I wanted to do. I ended up leaving.
Yes.
But I was able to get in where I wanted to be and go where I wanted to go, even though I had people telling me like, I don't know if you're going to be able to do that. And so I really carried that forward into this career. I've had people tell me there's no way that you could, make money off of a business doing X, Y, and Z, or there's no way that you'll be able to, have your hand in all these pots or whatever. And, maybe you can't, but I can.
Exactly. I'm so excited that you're proving them wrong.
Yeah,
so
and I just encourage other women to be that way too, because I think if you can dream it, you can do it. And I really mean that. I really mean that. So.
Well, Claire, it has been a pleasure being here at Dollop, and now I will go down and partake. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Claire, for sharing your incredible story of how you landed at the Dollop Shop. And you will stay in our hearts and in our stomachs for some time. Let's get in the car and hit the road and see who's going to be next in the driver's seat.